Okay, today I'm going to talk about another part of the pre-trip that you do every day, and I'm going to talk about tires and wheels. First thing we're looking for when we look at tires and wheels is the rim. You want to look around this edge right around here where the bead gets seated and make sure there's no dents in it. You know, if you hit a curb, a pothole, a rock in the road, something could crush that tire enough to dent that rim, then that's a disqualifier. You can't drive that bus with that rim dented like that. Go get another bus, okay? Kind of at a glance, look at your valve stem, make sure it's got a cap on it. These caps are kind of confusing because they got a little ball so you can put air in them. They're just a two-purpose cap. They're okay. You can see that it screws off and on there. Okay, next thing we're going to look at is the lug nuts. First, that they're all there. You don't want to drive a bus with one missing. The next thing you're going to look at is gaps behind any of these to see if you can actually notice anything. If they were all loose, as in somebody changed the tire and didn't get them tight, that rim would be shifting on there, and you'd have little shiny spots and little metal shavings around. That would be if all of them were loose. That's real serious. If just one is loose, the indicator would be probably a rust trail underneath. Moisture gets down in behind there overnight, and there's raw metal, so it rusts real quick, and then the moisture runs out and stains the rim. If you got any of that, let Nick know and he'll tighten it down real quick. Okay, next thing is the tread. Now this tire, I would probably, it's close to being, in my opinion, on the edge. If I was driving this vehicle, I would probably write this up that it's getting a little bit thin. And I've got a tire checker here, and I'm going to check that and see how close I am to being right. In 30 seconds, okay, we're about 6 out here, so we need 4. It's getting close, but I don't know if Nick would determine whether to change that or not. Now, it also looks like this tire is wearing uneven. It looks like it treads thicker in here than it is out here, so I'm going to take a look at that. And yeah, it says 9 in here and 5.5 to 6 here, so there's a pretty substantial difference. That's something that I would write on a pre-trip. You can tell that at a glance. Probably older drivers can look at that and see that. But this is what you want to do, and if you suspect that the tire is getting thin, write it on the pre-trip. Let Nick check it out. Let him decide whether that tire needs replaced or not, and that way we're ahead of the game. If you suspect it early, then he can keep a note on it or check the mileage, and then especially if it's wearing at an angle, he'll keep an eye on that so that we don't run into problems. So that's the wheels and tires. Of course, you're looking at the outside, make sure there's no bulges or any cuts like you ran over a piece of metal or something. Tires are important. They're the only thing that keep you on the road. Okay. Now the back, I'm not sure you can see. These two I would suspect being a little bit thin. I would definitely write these up because it doesn't look like there's much there. I'm not sure that you can see that, but I'm going to check them again. Now back here with the rim, we're looking at the same thing with the addition of the oil seal back here. All those little bolts and stuff, that's the oil seal. If any of those are missing, it might be a problem. If there's any moisture around the outside or any evidence of it dripping, that would be a problem. You'd want to write that up and get it fixed immediately. Okay, valve stems are really hard to see. I can see the front one. They put them inside on dualies, and I don't think you ever see the back one. I think you have to actually access it a lot of times from the underside. Okay, tire looks good on. Like I said, I was suspect of these. We only need 2 30-seconds back here, so the standard's quite a bit different. And we have just under 6, so there again, you know, there's a lot of wear left on these, but I would still write it up and then, you know, let Nick know that they're getting close. I don't know what I think they're pretty deep to begin with. Now I'm going to talk about the tire billy. I see a lot of drivers go around and hit all the tires with that. That's not necessary. The only thing that a tire club does is tell the sound difference between the inside and the outside on a dually. If the inside tire was flat, it would have a real dead sound to it, and that would be a problem. Also, there'd be a little more tread on the ground, which we'll talk about up here. So that's what that's for. You don't need to hit the front. When you get to the front, all you have to do at a glance is take a look. I've got it kind of taped there, but if there's 6 inches of tread, or plus or minus a little bit, on the ground, that tire's in good shape. You know, if it was low, it'd be a lot more tread on the ground because those are real heavy. But you can do that at a glance. You don't need to hit it with a tire billy. That doesn't tell you anything. So that might save you a second or two in your pre-trip. Okay. Now Nick is slowly but surely changing all the steering tires on these vehicles. This is the old style. Really got big lugs on it. It's really easy to see the tread depth on them. Now the new ones he's putting on are Goodyears. He's getting better tread life out of them, so they're going to save us some money in the long run. But they look like this. Now they got a more dense tread pattern, so, and it's a little harder to see when they're going to wear. Now the one good thing about these is the wearing from side to side. They got these little shallow grooves in them, and if this, I can already see that this outside is wearing a little bit more than the inside here. Well, those are going to wear out real quick, and you'll still have some in there, and that's going to tell you right away that you know, that maybe there's an alignment issue or whatever causes that. But that's something you can ride on a pre-trip and Nick can take a look at. Okay, that's about it about the tires. So hopefully, you know, it'll speed you up a little bit, and that's really what we're trying to do, is make sure you check everything correctly and in a reasonable amount of time. So thanks for listening. Bye.